Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. I would like to direct your attention to a notification that appears on the Ada County website under a section devoted to the State versus Brian C. Kohberger case. For those that are interested in possibly filing a public records request to obtain evidence not released to the public, and that will not be shown to the public because the jury trial where the public anticipated evidence from both sides would be brought forward. August 18th was canceled once Mr. Kohberger stood up in open court on July 2nd, 2025, and entered his change of plea to guilty. This notification says, State versus Brian C. Kohberger, this case is now closed. Request for sealed court documents. The court is in the process of reviewing sealed orders and documents. This will be a lengthy process, and all unsealed documents will be released as they are approved. All unsealed documents will be placed on the Cases of Interest webpage. Requests for records relating to the investigation or discovery should be directed to law enforcement agencies. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been following the case and have been looking at some of the documents on the Cases of Interest webpage for Idaho versus Kohberger, you know that there have been numerous requests for discovery filed by both sides that are under seal and remain under seal, dating back to the very beginning of this case 2.5 years ago. What is discovery? Discovery is evidence that whichever side is propounding that request for discovery on the opponent feels the other side has in its possession, custody, or control that the requesting party feels is important, is necessary to their case, whether it's the prosecution of it or the defense of it, depending on who's serving that request for discovery. So we're being told here, as we wait for this very lengthy process, the public, of unsealing the many items that are under seal in State versus Kohberger, including but not limited to discovery. There's another avenue here that the Ada County website, per this notice, is directing the public to. And bearing in mind, Judge Stephen J. Hippler is not just the trial court who presided over the case. He is also the administrative judge from Ada County, and this notice directs the public to law enforcement agencies for discovery. Now, what might be discovery? What might be evidence? It might be either the videotaped or the voice-recorded interview of Mr. Kohberger that occurred shortly after his arrest, the morning of December 30th, 2022, and it was conducted by Detective Brett Payne of the Moscow Police Department, Detective Gilbertson of the Idaho State Police. Detective Gilbertson recorded that interview with Mr. Kohberger. From what we know from the narrative produced by the Moscow Police Department, July 23rd, 2025, that was written by Detective Payne, this interview went for approximately 45 minutes. That might be something that would be the subject of a public records request, or the videotaped version of that interview that occurred in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, or photographs, body camera image, witness recordings, full transcripts of recordings, copies of affidavits, copies of declarations. All of this might be evidence that's been submitted to the court by the state and the prosecution of the case. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone. My name's Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.